In this video, we're going to be looking at while loops. Now, while loops are pretty cool. They essentially say that while a condition is not met, keep repeating an action. So the easiest way I can demonstrate this is to, let's say I wanted to write a program that printed out my name 100 times. It could take quite a long time, but not if I use a while loop. So let's print my name out once. If I run this, it's going to print it once. Okay, cool. Now, I want to do it 100 times, so I'm going to use a thing called a while loop. To do that, in this instance, I need a condition, something I can check against. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to make a variable called counter. I'm going to start it at 0. So in my while loop, I'm going to now say while my counter is less than 100, I need to print my name. Now, there's one thing I've really missed here, but I'm going to run this and show you what it does. Here, it is constantly printing my name. It never ever ends. Like I said with a while loop, it will run until a particular condition is met. As you can see, I've said that while counter is less than 100, and I'm not actually changing the value of counter anywhere. So under my while loop here, I'm going to say counter equals counter plus 1. So I'm going to iterate it up by 1, and now it should actually count up as it goes. So it will go print Mr. Lydiard, add 1, so the counter in theory would be sitting at 1 at that point. And then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, all the way up to 100. Let's reduce this number here to, say, 10, something we can count easier. If I run it, hey, you'll see, let's clear my shell actually, because then we can actually see it a bit clearer. If I run it, it's printed my name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Now the while loop is really handy when you want someone to repeat something until a condition is met. So let's go back to my password checker that I was working on before. Let's say they haven't been able to get their password and I want them to start again or try again if they didn't get their password correct. So I'm going to say here, instead of, I'm going to say, change this a little bit. Instead, I'm going to say while. I'm going to copy this whole line. While your input username does not equal your username, or your input password does not equal password, or your age is less than the age restriction. So while they don't have the right username, or they don't have the right password, or they don't have the age restriction, I want to do something. So I want them to essentially put in all of this again. I want them to try again. Okay, try again. So while they don't match, keep going. Okay, and then at the very end, I could say print congratulations, you logged in. Okay, so what this says here is while the username they give me does not equal username, or the password they give doesn't equal the password, or the age restriction doesn't equal the age restriction, make them put their information in again. So if I run this and I say John and I say Pluto and I say 20, it'll log me in because I've met all the conditions that I've set. If I run it again and I say Jane and Pluto and then an age, so I'll say 29, it's going to start again. Okay. Now, I could be a little bit smarter here, like I was before, and start checking for specific things. So under here, I can say if the input, I'm going to say the input username if the input username does not match the username, I'm going to ask them to put this in again. Okay. Now, I don't have to say else or elif here. I could ask it another question. Right? I could say if the input password doesn't equal the password, again, I could ask them to go ahead and put in their password again. So let's grab this, put that there. I could say if the input age, let's just grab this, is less than the age restriction, I could ask them to put their age in again. So I'm asking them to correct their mistakes essentially. So let's put all three values in wrong. Let's say Jane, let's say the moon, and let's say 14. So this is going to ask me for my username again. Okay. So let's make this a little bit better. Incorrect username. I'm going to make them put that in again. I'm going to say password. Ages too. Let's try run this again. Let's make it a little bit smarter so it prints out better messages for me. So I'm going to clear the shell, run it again. What is your username? Jane, Moon, and I'm 12. Incorrect username. What is your username? I'm going to say Jane again, but I'm going to correct my password. But I'm still going to be too young. So you can see my username. It's asked for that again. We're still going to put in John. You'll notice it didn't ask for my password because I corrected my password from before. So it already has the right password now. Now the age, I'm still going to say it's 12. Okay, now it's not asking for the username anymore because my username's right. And if I put in the correct age, it will log me in. And just like before, if I put in all the right details, it'll log me in straight away. But that while loop has made this a whole lot smarter. Okay, while loops are very useful.